popular drill rapper by the name of YBCdul, aka Mr. Disrespectful, who went viral for digging up his op's grave, has been shot and killed in Philadelphia. Yes, you heard me correctly. This guy dug up his op's grave. Whether or not that is confirmed to be his op's grave, I do not know. I haven't been there, but that is what the message he's put out to the world. And to put that message out to the world just shows a level of disregard for human life beyond comprehension. And recently, YBCdul has been blowing up and gaining a lot of attention. He even appeared on the Brendan Buckingham show literally a day before this murder happened, and look at what he said during it.
Lil Durk say at the end of that song, like, real me, like, the street vouch for me. Anywhere I go, nobody don't play with me. I never got robbed. I never got touched, shot at in the city yet.
Now, I went and watched the whole documentary before making this video, because although there's lots of talking points that don't just relate to Dul himself and revolve around the whole lifestyle as a whole, it was important that I understood where he's coming from and who he is. Now, the maddest thing is, while watching this, I thought this was like an 18, 19-year-old the whole time. So I had this level of empathy for him because he's showing his neighborhood, his environment, which is an extremely effed up place. But while he's doing so, he's talking about how him and his guys contributed to messing it up so much and turning it into the deserted, messed up, nobody outside, no-go zone that it is.
We really killed a lot of niggas though. Like, niggas is not here no more, bro. The hood dry, bro. Look, this shit a desert town, ghost town, bro. Nobody outside. We fucked the hood up. Like, when you in down Kennington, how the whole, like, everywhere outside, bro. It's not like you gonna get shot down here, bro. Like, with that shit I be talking about in my reps, bro, that shit real. Go listen to it. Everybody getting shot. Mom, dad, sisters, brothers. We proving a point.
The whole reason for doing so is because one of his guys was killed first.
Is that like sad at all to be like, yo, no one's outside, we fucked the whole place up?
I wish it ain't like, bro, I swear, I put this on my mom. Like, if I could trade and turn like all this shit back, be something else, or like, feel me, bro? I wish I had my niggas, bro. I don't give a fuck about doing this shit right here, bro.
Oh, what up, bro?
I just do this shit now because it's like, if I don't do this shit, bro, I'm gonna be a nut-ass nigga if I don't make it out the hood. Like, if I don't get successful, bro, and get rich, bro, I'm gonna feel like I'm a nut-ass nigga, and I'm gonna feel like I failed all my homies.
Now, the thing is, that's why I had a lot of empathy, because I'm thinking, okay, and he's talking about murders and shootings and all of this stuff that has happened frequently in recent years, and I'm thinking, so you're 18, 19 now, and this is the past few years, so this has been happening to you from your 16. I feel sorry for him. By the end of it, I come to realize this was a 25-year-old man. Now, age and the streets, there's no rules to it. You can be 16, be on stuff that 25-year-olds ain't on. You can be 25 and smoke a 16-year-old. People don't like to hear that. People can't comprehend that. But in the streets, there's no rules. And that's what goes on. And the thing is, if you're 25 years old, the problem is you have had opportunity. I don't want to hear none of this about, this is the environment I grew up in. You're a grown man with a cell phone and you're flexing jewelry and all of this. You've had opportunity. Now, before anyone gets onto me like, why are you passing judgment or why are you criticizing? The reason why I'm speaking about these topics is because most people, when it comes to men's self-improvement and personal development and growth, they're only talking about quitting video games or watching porn or simple shit or smoking loud or maybe some turning up too much, partying and that. Yes, these things are destructive and hinder your life and cause you to stifle and not achieve your goals. Well, they can do, depending on how severe they are to you. But one of the biggest things misleading and destroying the lives of young boys and young men is this whole street and gang lifestyle. How do I know? Because I grew up with a very, very troubled past from a very young age. One of the biggest things misleading and destroying the lives of young boys and young men is this whole street and gang lifestyle. How do I know? Because I grew up with a very, very troubled past from a very young age. That's all I'm going to say about that for now. So let's continue on why I'm speaking about this. So you see, someone like Dul, now that he's a grown man, he's in a position where he's been influenced, all the influence has happened to him, he's got all this trauma, all this pain, and now he's inflicting that on the younger generation. How's he doing it? Through his music. His music is for his personal gain. This is what people need to understand. Music, for all these rappers and all that, they will deny to their graves that, oh, it doesn't influence no one, it's just a reflection of my society. Why? Because they don't give a fuck what it causes as long as it puts money in their pocket and gives them clout and status, which they can then use and get attention, because we now live in an attention economy. So they will lie to themselves, they will justify to themselves why they're doing it. It's no different than someone selling poison and getting paid off it. Do you understand what I'm saying here? I know a lot of people don't like to hear this because they're diehard rap fans and they have favorite rappers and they themselves are probably involved in certain things and don't want to admit that they're being influenced by the music. Music operates through vibrational frequencies. Frequencies affect our mood. This is not something that's up for debate whether music is influential or not. Music can make you cry, music can make you angry, music can make you slide, music can make you feel joy, pain, passion, excitement. That shows you all the proof you need that it is an influence. And it's not just an influence. In my opinion, music is probably the greatest influencer there is. That's why people absolutely idolize musicians, because of how much the musicians have an effect on them emotionally and how invested they become in them. So back to the point. The reason why I'm making this video is because I know there's so many young men out there and young boys out there being misguided and misled, just like this guy probably was, to live this lifestyle as if it's something glorious. Look in this video how he's gloating to the white guy in the video. This is funny because I noticed this, like all these rappers and these street guys and that, they have no problem self-snitching. The whole documentary is literally a self-snitching episode. It's like, it's crazy. It's crazy. And this shows you as well the desperation that they need for validation and attention, because they're in such a shit position. Whether, no matter how they glamorize it, no matter what they say about it, no matter how cool they make it look to you, that position in life is a disaster. You're stuck. All you do is care about what other men think, because that's why all these guys stay stuck. That's all they do. They can't do their own thing. They're too worried about what the guys would say. What's the block gonna say? All of this stuff. How are you ever gonna elevate if you're worried about what people are thinking about you? This applies across the board. So now imagine your whole lifestyle is revolving around what guys think about you. Because actually, when it comes to the streets, it matters what people think about you. Because if they think you're weak, if they think they can take advantage of you, if they think anything like that, you're fucked. You're going to be exploited, violated, you may lose your life, all sorts. So in the streets, it actually matters massively what people think of you, because it literally depends on what's going to happen. In all of life, it actually does matter what people think of you. Outside of the streets, if people don't like you necessarily and you're doing your own thing, your life's not going to be in jeopardy. You can do your own thing. We live in the social media age. We live in capitalist society. You can go and do your own thing. Nepotism and favoritism plays a huge role if you decide to go into corporate roles and high-ranking office jobs and all this type of stuff. So if you decide to get a degree and study and all that, favoritism plays a role, but so does it in the streets. That's why you got people who get away with snitching, who snitch and then no one says nothing, but then you got someone who snitches and they demonize them. So it's a complete contradiction. It's hypocritical. It's all a facade. The whole thing is a facade. This is the problem. So if you now give your life to something that's a facade that you no longer actually have to, you're not obligated to. The problem here, I understand, with YBCdul is that blood has been shed and death has happened. And that is something extremely, extremely traumatic and hard to get past. But eventually, if you want to live life and grow and develop further, at some point it has to be water under the bridge. You have to step away. All the greatest wars in history have come to an end through one side losing or peace treaties signing. And face it, in the streets, do any of them actually end up winning? Seems like it's just a never-ending cycle, because the next younger generation is birthed and then they inherit the beefs and it just continues. And then they don't even really understand why it started in the first place, when 99% of the time it's over a hoe or a bitch, literally. Like the whole, in my side where I was growing up, I didn't even know until a few years later the whole reason why the madness started, which led to people dying, people catching serious sentences, people catching life sentences, all sorts of things, yeah? I found out a few years later it was all about a bitch. All about a fucking bitch. I thought these men had like real beef. I'm not gonna go into it, but I thought there was real beef. I found out it was over a fucking bitch. Do you think, and I would never, ever have involved myself. Anyway, this video is not even about that. The point here is, all of these guys are misguided. And look at the thing, you cannot, this is the thing now. In my previous video, I said about setting precedent, yeah? And all of this stuff stems from the Chicago drill with dissing the dead. So they made it popular. That's why we got it in the UK. That's why they got it now in Philly, Jacksonville, all over America. This plague of dissing the dead. Bro, dissing the dead will bring you nothing but turmoil, destruction. Don't matter who you are, you will face repercussion in one way or another. You will be harmed, or your family member will be harmed. Someone will be harmed. Because once you diss dead people, you are crossing a line. You are crossing a line where your words are essentially violence. And not only that, the pain you are causing with your words is beyond comprehension. And you are causing pain to people who don't deserve it in a lot of cases. You are now causing pain to mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers who are not involved, to children. They're not involved. And you are now causing pain to them. When you diss a gang or diss a person who's living, and that you're not causing pain to anyone other than that person. But now you're doing it to other people who are undeserving. In a lot of cases, they're undeserving because they're not involved. And their person, their child, whatever, has just gone off the rails and doing their own thing. And with acting with his own free will. But you see, the problem here, the whole problem here is someone like YBCdul. What is he saying in this documentary? He's doing it for money. He needs money. He's not going to be a bum. He's not going to be that guy who is said, oh, yeah, he's strung out, da-da-da.
Shit right here, bro.
Oh, what up, bro?
I just do this shit now because it's like, if I don't do this shit, bro, I'm going to be a nut-ass nigga if I don't make it out the hood. Like, if I don't get successful, bro, and get rich, bro, I'm going to feel like I'm a nut-ass nigga, and I'm going to feel like I failed all my homies.
Because it's like he's saying what's going to happen to him is that third outcome. I speak about this a lot. There's 3 outcomes to this lifestyle. 1 is death, 2 is jail, and 3rd is washed up and mentally tapped. The 3rd one is what people don't speak about, but Dul himself mentions it multiple times in the documentary. And he believes that's what will happen to him if he doesn't get rich and make it out. And this is where the trap now lies, because he sees only this option as his way out, which, because he has emotionally committed himself to this gang lifestyle. Once you emotionally commit yourself to something, it's very hard to leave it. And now it makes sense why it was so hard for him to leave this as well, because he's 25. He's given so many years to it. People can't let go. It's very difficult. This is why if you're in the streets now and you're a teenager, get out as fast as possible. If you're a young man, get out as fast as possible. Bad habits compound, behaviors compound, negative emotions compound, the same way positive. Everything is compounding. So the longer you do something, the harder it becomes to stop it, which can be a positive or negative. Imagine you go to the gym and you do work and study and you start focusing on business and striving to improve your life, and you keep doing that non-stop. You're going to become addicted to that, and that's just going to become second nature to you. On the flip side, imagine you're smoking loud every day, doing scumbag behavior, finessing, scamming, trapping, doing things that are all engulfed in negativity. The longer you do it, the harder it is to leave. This is why so many men find it so hard to leave that lifestyle. So if you're someone young who's in that lifestyle, don't wait any longer. You gotta get out ASAP. And the reason why I don't speak with as much empathy as I would have many years ago is because nowadays, with the social media age, with understanding that life is all about accountability and we all make our own decisions, it's ridiculous that someone is of this age and they refuse to see outside the box. The only empathy I have is if their parents grew them up like this. Because some people are products of their environment, specifically because of their parents. These people, I feel so bad for. I grew up with a few of them, and the thing is though, even those people have the ability to change. Why? Because you have your own mind. Once you're 18, 19, 20, you're a man, right? You're a man, right? So if you're a man, that means you should be able to walk your own path. You can't keep crying about what your parents put you through, or the environment you grew up in, all of this. You can't do that. You gotta make choices. There was crackheads outside my house every day for years. For years. And at any opportunity I had, if I wanted to, I could be serving. Why? Because the big guys were the guys I grew up with, and they're doing all that. Whatever. Anyway, point being, by that age, I was aware that where this is leading to. These people are aware where it's leading to. They always say, oh, it's death, jail, da da da. So why are you not changing? Why then do you go on and glamorize it and glorify it as if it's something to be looked up on? And then they talk down on other people. Hey, you ain't been through what I've been through. Hey, you ain't on what I'm on. You ain't da da da. Okay, so now you're talking down on people. Why? Because you've realized something. Your pain has shaped you to become extremely resilient, resourceful, and relentless. So now imagine you use that for your benefit in a positive way, not way that's the detriment to others. Do you know how great you can become? This is why the people who have lived such messed up lives or come from such disadvantaged, poor, fucked up backgrounds, when they decide and they flip that switch and they do become and they do change their lives and they do start improving and they do start seeking opportunities and do start elevating and growing and improving, that's why they become so great. That's why their stories become so inspirational. Because of the pain that they've been through. They take that pain and they turn it into power. So everybody in the streets has that opportunity. And the fact that you have that opportunity is a blessing. You are not like other people. The things you've been through, the things you've seen, the things you've experienced is not like majority of society. This is why when you do decide to make a change and use all of that pain and transform it, because that's all it is. The pain is a form of energy. It's a form of emotional state. And emotional states and energies can be manipulated and used in ways that you desire, in ways that you wish. You just need to think of what the outcomes are going to be. You can use that emotional pain to then inflict more pain and then try to satisfy your pain with knowing that you've caused them pain, which then doesn't. It's a spiral downwards into more negativity and more pain and more destruction and more death. Or you can use it in the positive way. So you see, the whole point of this is that you can turn your pain into power. So rest in peace to YBCdul. I don't know how he grew up and his specific background. The only reason I know why he became like he did is because his friend got killed initially. And I understand that that can cause a lot of trauma, pain, distress. But then when you get to a certain age, you gotta take responsibility. If you wanna change your life, you have all the opportunity in the world. You have a phone and you've got ways to generate money. Move. One of the biggest things, the best things you can do is change environments. You change environments, you'll begin to change your perspective. That is number one. If you can't move at the moment, limit yourself. Stay inside as much as you can. When you do go out, try go to different areas. Don't hang on the block. Don't hang in these same pubs, or don't go to the same clubs. Don't go to these same places where these people are, because you're just tempting yourself. You are tempting yourself. You need to avoid it, right? And next thing is, you can never, ever, 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 ever care about what a next man thinks. Once you do that, you're setting yourself up to be controlled and manipulated. And that is how you get boxed in, and that's how you remain trapped. At the end of the day, I know one thing that everybody seeks, and everybody seeks freedom. You can never have freedom if you remain within the box. If you keep thinking inside that box that you were put in and programmed into when you were growing up. Because like I said, a lot of guys in the streets are programmed. They see the lifestyles of rappers. They see the lifestyles of the drug dealers, the big guys. But they don't see behind the curtain. Once you see behind the curtain, a lot of people would then choose their path differently. So that's why I'm making this video today. And at the end of the day, I hope if even one person can understand from this video that choosing this street and gang lifestyle is only going to end up in one of three ways. Even the popular rapper, the guy who becomes the popular rapper, look at everything that is surrounding him, the death, destruction and pain. And for most of them, how long does it last? And if you even knew what was going on behind the scenes, like within the corporate side of things, and how they play people against people, how they hold back people when they stop trying to diss the dead, like Julio. People don't know about this type of stuff. They only see what they're seeing. Certain things are happening behind scenes, and you're being manipulated and used by people who live in mansions and drive fancy cars and live in peaceful homes. They are laughing at you. They are exploiting you when you live this lifestyle. Yes, it's real. Yes, this shit happens. Yes, there's a lot of pain. But everything you're seeking to gain from that lifestyle, like brotherhood, like respect, like money, like power, clout, women, these things can all be found in much more wholesome environments and wholesome ways. We live in 2024. There is no reason to be in the streets. Especially if you're someone from London watching this, or someone from a big city, you have endless opportunity. Endless. Stop worrying about what anyone else thinks and walk your own path. And you know, if you've actually done things in your life, you've done things and all that, you don't need to give the rest of your life to that. You don't need to. Kill them with success. Gain something. Your homie got killed in the streets. Go make some money legitimately. Make a charity in his name. Honor him in a way that is respectable. Help his family. All these types of things is things you are going to be able to do if you choose the right path. You choose the path of growth, development, and focusing on yourself. If you choose to step outside the box, you can do whatever. You can achieve greatness. And your story will be great because of everything you've been through. Anyway, man, that's it for this video. If you want to understand more about turning your pain into power, then check out my previous videos here. Anyway, man, that's it. And remember, we all have a choice in life. Elevate or deteriorate. Love.